Diana Ross, Why Do Fools Fall in Love at number 2 on my fantasy playlist, December 20th, 1981. And I listened to this record again on YouTube, this song again on YouTube just a few minutes ago. Watched a video to it. Diana Ross looking very exuberant, very sharp, 37 years old and looking good at the time. And I like her version of it. I really do appreciate it a lot better now. Got a fantastic beat to it. Frankie Lyman and Teenagers did it back in 1956 originally. Then 25 years later, Diana Ross has a go at it. And her version, actually, I don't have the chart position of her version. I think it either went top 10 or top 20 on Billboard's Hot 100. The album was called Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And boy, oh boy, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? That was Diana Ross's first album after she left the Motown label. When she left Motown, she signed a $20 million deal with RCA Records. And she promised the president of RCA that she will have an album ready by the 1981 holiday season. Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers of Chic, top-notch producers back in the day, back in the late 70s, early 80s, were slated to produce this album, to make it happen, to put this thing on the shelves by Christmas or before Christmas. Well, it didn't quite happen that way. Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, they were busy. They're working on Debbie Harry of Blondie. They're working on her solo album. They were working on an album by Johnny Mathis, and they were working on a new album by Chic. They were too busy to get on Diana Ross's debut album for RCA. Thus, Diana Ross took it upon herself to produce her own album. And she did it successfully. The album went platinum in the US, went gold in England, and in Canada. The album went to number 15 in the US. That's respectable. Number 17 in the UK and top 10 in Sweden and in Norway, up in the cold climes of the Scandinavian countries. Diana Ross heating up the airways up there, probably the dance floors too, with the songs that she had off this album. I think that's about it. What I got to say about this album. Some commentaries about some of the songs on the album. Extended version of Endless Love. Oh God, that was a monster. This song came right after Endless Love, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? But Mirror, Mirror, that was a fantastic heavy beat record. That was on that album. Mirror, Mirror, does anybody remember that? That was from early in 82. And she also had another, oh God, it had a jam on there called Work That Body. Was not a hit here in the States, but went to number 10 in the UK. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Diana Ross at number 2 on my fantasy playlist.